latest episode of an early morning war game designer brainstorming. And we're getting things a little bit together here this morning. You can see we've got our towns in proximity to certain points on South Mountain. I think that's called, yeah. And we got our proximities going on here. Let me see if I can get some zoom features. Middletown, Frederick, everything else going on here. Now their proximities are pretty good. I want to show you, and this is all subject to change. All this could be get bigger because it's a little bit tight in here, but we'll see. But anyway, we got them all going on here. Now here you go. This is one of my counters. What this counter represents, these in. Oh shoot, I've already knocked something over here, Tandytown. But anyway, prototype counter. Easy enough. Infantry in column, attack factor 2. Infantry in line, attack factor 5. Now what he'll do is number one, this one here is in Gettysburg in column. He'll have a little road box there. There's the roads. We will roll our dice. A 3 comes down here on this. That equals a 1, 2, 3 mud, 1 life traffic. So here's my mud 2. This will be my mud 1. Oh, I can get it on there. Let me see. We will do this. Put our road conditions. Mud 1. And that tells you the condition, how far these can travel. Well, let me see, we rolled a 3. That is 9.0 miles per day. Each turn is a half a day. So he'll be able to go 4.5 miles. 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go. Good one day he moves right there. And like I said, this is all very, very, very early in the game design, but it just gives you a general reference to what's going. So that's good. That means it'll take them a little bit longer to get down there, because in the whole game, the Confederates got to get somewhere around here. So yeah, you can see how slow it's going to take. We got traffic and everything, and like I said, this is just a little main concept. But yeah, there you go. It's kind of what we're doing. I figured out the game. It's going to take a long time. At least maybe a good game, a year at least in the making. So just showing you what goes on. We got going on around here, my little map. And I'm thinking this might have to be expanded, but if this works out in our little playthroughs here, little test playthroughs, we'll see what goes on. We got to figure out the size of these units and everything too. Like I said, this is just very, very preliminary. But there you go, working ourselves around with some early morning brainstorming. We'll be back. All right, a new day. We got all kinds of stuff going on. I want to give you a little look at my concepts and my counters. Let's see what's going on here. When we get the actual Gettysburg area map, we'll be using these. These are cavalry, active cavalry, and these are cavalry that we got a little. I don't know if you can see that. We got a little tent and a little fire going next to it. Little tent and a fire. That means they're stopped and they're camped out. Here's our other. There you go. That's our infantry on the left in column, cavalry on the right in column. Infantry on the left in line, cavalry on the right in line. And then we got us some, what do they call it? Deception counters. You flip them over, you see when it says infantry sucker. I don't know what that 2 VIP means. Oh, 2 movement points. So maybe you only get 2 movement points. Cavalry deception for this deception counter can move 2 movement points, and the cavalry deception counter can move 4. There you go. We got us some artillery camped, limbered artillery. Would be a towed, unlimbered artillery, and then another artillery deception counter. Here you go. supply, wounded, just all kinds of notes. All kinds. We even got our prisoners, prisoner train, all kinds of just, like I said, general concept art. We all get a lot better up here. And these little mountains here, we're gonna have different hills and stuff over here. This will all be, loaded with landscape. We got railroads that come down here, streams, little secondary roads, and that'll be part of the game too. Is rolling on your dice and find out which roads are good, which roads are bad, which ones do I want to take. And then if you take one way, it turned out to be flooded later. And it's just all kinds of weather factors coming on in here. Now here in Gettysburg, I'm thinking about moving this whole thing down a little bit because Gettysburg's got a road that goes up this way. So we might have to move it down. Plus, these mountains come up here. There's a little bit of a gap here. And then there's more mountains up this way. So yeah, we got a lot to do. And I'm down here chomping at the bit. Too many ideas in too little time. And I want to get playing some more of that War for America. So we got our little phases here. We're going to take a break on this phase here and get back to some War for America. We'll be right back. All right, we're thinking about doing the movements and hidden movements this way. Like I said, we're going to have another map here. It's going to be the initial map, and it'll have the town at Gettysburg. We'll be incorporating these counters during that initial phase of the game, or these counters might be used during the whole game. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, here's the concept I've got. Well, all you'll be seeing mostly, and either or, this will be stacked with another unit underneath it. This is just a cover unit. So all your opponent will be seeing is this. And I don't know if that two's a movement factor. I don't know if that'll be in there because we might just base it on what you can do on the road. There might be just basic movement factors for everybody, not printed on the counter. But like I said, this is very initial. But here's what we're trying to get to. All right, when you're in Gettysburg, you'll have the top of this counter either this way, and this is saying that this is a regiment. All right, this is very crude, but there's a triangle here. We'll have a triangle here representing a tent. Here's our little crude fire next to it, a little smoke going up. This means that they're camped. So when you see a bunch of these around, you'll know that the opponent's camped out. They're not going anywhere. And then it can switch from this counter to this counter. This means they're active, they're not camped no more, they're ready to go. Now, this counter here will be on top of either a real infantry counter or a blank counter. So when you're moving these around, he don't know. Now he'll know you'll do this. Okay, I know he's camped. All right. And you obviously don't want to let him look at there and see that there's a dummy counter. Also, we were thinking about doing this too for dummy counters. There you go. So they're camped. There you go. They're active. And then if it was a real counter, you'd have them here. When they're active, they'd be definitely in a column. And it's just something we're thinking about. So you'll have a bunch of either. This is your cover. This is what the enemy will always see. There'll be one counter underneath it, whether it's a sucker counter or this. This is while they're active, and this is while they are camped. So what you could do is have a bunch of camped sucker counters outside of Gettysburg. Don't know if they're going to retreat. Or maybe you want to make that offensive. If you want to go on the attack the next morning or the next day after the Battle of Gettysburg, just counter on a bunch of active units up in your front lines, and all your dummies are heading back this way. Yeah, either or. Because like I said, on the tactical Gettysburg area map, there's going to be a couple points, or at least 1 or 2 points, that if the Confederates can get there, it's an automatic victory. They're going to try, Lee's going to try another attack the next day. Because, if you look at the history, old Meade was, like I said before, quote, shitting his pants, and he'd won the battle. Could you imagine if, if Lee had Meade so, deceived that he had a lot more forces than he actually had? So I got notes on all this too. And it says, Lee, Meade, no offensive actions, recon Confederate lines. He was unsure of Lee's numbers, unaware of Lee's level of defeat. Lee knew he was defeated, and Meade didn't know his force strength, so, that's just all kinds of stuff. So it's going along the historical lines. But yeah, these are all really crude. I mean, this is just making these up here in 2 seconds. But this is for video purposes. And here we'll probably maybe do this more like this. So I forgot to do that. I wanted to make this like a little box instead of having it free standing. So there's that. This is, like I said, it'd be blue. The actual X and the marks would probably be, I like to have a nice yellow, you know, blue for a Union, yellow mark there. You can make them really nice. But like I said, here you go. That's the same thing here. In column, in line, firepower goes up, all that good stuff. Oh, when they're in Gettysburg, you don't know if they're going to be. That means they're camped. All the fires are going, all the tents. But are they really? Sucker counters along the lines there, along the ridge. You know, just stuff to do. Then when it comes time to flip them on over, and this is how you'll move them. You'll actually move going this way. And then I guess maybe, I have no idea if we figure out. I think the camping aspect's just going to be during the tactical Gettysburg the next day. The day after Gettysburg, we'll have one day where the infantry could attack. But like I said, they'll be like this. This is something to do. This is very, very initial. But there you go. And we also have, what I else put on there here? For the artillery, you've been fooled. Yeah, who knows? So like I said, it might be just better just to have it blank. So there you go. When you go up against, when you get up against them, because you're gonna fight, you engage. You're like, oh shit, we've been messed with. So there you go. Just all kinds of ideas from past games we played. We'll be back with some War for America. All right, then get more terrain tiles up here to simulate the mountains north of Gettysburg. There's a nice little gap just north of Gettysburg, so I gotta get that set to go. I'm trying to think of what gap I got here. This gap here, Monterey Pass, I'm pretty sure is going to have to be either Fox's Gap or right here. And then Gettysburg has another gap north of it. So like I'm saying, I think this whole thing's got to move down here more. But we're just messing around. Rainstorm with our terrain effects. Like I said, all these hills, there'll be more of them around. This map's gonna be beautiful when it gets done, but it's just initial stages. Get some shadows for the mountains, and I like these little templates you can move around. This is great. Oh, having a great time. We'll be back. All right, another edition of early morning brainstorming. We got some goodies in here for you, fresh from the art development department. We've gone from counter concepts. There you go. Being the infantry symbol, they're in column, and this is just a movement. We're deciding whether we should put movement or anything on there. This is just the way it's all developed. This is the top counter. But here we go. We're getting ourselves into some actual counters here. I don't know how we want to do it. But again, this means that it's infantry in column. We got the brigade commander's name on here. And we ain't really going to have a movement point or strength. I think it's going to be standard. These are just telling you how, these are just, examples. Here's a Confederate cavalry in column, Confederate infantry in line. There you go. That's how it comes about. From concept to art. And that's not final. Or just, I don't even know if I want these counters this big. But there you go. We're getting ready to go here. We got our towns all set. We got our gaps. We're moving right along. For Lee is trapped and must be taken. 11 days after Gettysburg. We will be back.